I'm going to say a little bit more about the project, because I know some of you know a lot about it, and some of you know very little, and it's a bit confusing, but it's very simple actually. The basic idea, as you may or may not know, which I'm going to clarify now, is this question of what's true of you that's not obvious to strangers. The reason that I chose this question, although there were other variations on that theme, was around a passion that I have for happiness. And in order to look at happiness, as some of you know, all the research basically puts you right back to diminishing shame. If you want to look at happiness, you have to look at diminishing shame, authenticity, being transparent, like Joe talked about, and living in our own bodies as we are, not as we could be or would be or should be. So this is something that I have been exploring for 30 years, pretty full-time in my life. And I've done other big international projects as well that are exploring shadow material. And this for me is a way to kind of bring that in a really powerful way that builds community and connects people and addresses the issue that's more and more important for us, which is resilience. You know, how do we deal with these changing times? And how do we deal with the fact that we're running out of oil, or we have already run out of oil, depending on how you look at it? How do we deal with, you know, the changing tidelines? And how can we actually be even having fun in it? You know, how do we get in there with others and really build communities? So this project grew out of that. And I've been taking these portraits around the world for the last 2 years. I've rarely had anyone say no, actually. I mean, I'm not immune to someone saying no, but it's been an amazing privilege. And when I was a bit nervous earlier, and I thought, oh my God, I just have to look at the portraits and I feel happy. And even when they're difficult things, a lot of people have said that too, it's actually ultimately very, very fortifying somehow to kind of know how much I've fallen in love with each and every one of these people. I mean, how can you not love someone who's being real? And so this thing for me has been very powerful, exploring what would I share. You know, people don't realize, I had a real epiphany on a retreat that I was on. I realized that the thing I least want anyone to know about me really is how vulnerable I am. And so that ultimately became the most powerful thing I could actually be, was in the center of that vulnerability. So getting up here and talking to a crowd, it's not actually comfortable, but ultimately it's something, when I'm aware of my vulnerability, it's very easy then, because I'm not trying to pretend to be cool, you know, and that's quite a useful thing. So this project, you know, and all these people who've shared their hearts is kind of a transmission of them is in the project. And I want to create this documentary to take this idea to groups that are working in community, to transition initiatives that are working with these themes, and to just kind of create this living poem of human beings who are willing to write on their skin something about them that's real, authentic, empowering, all sorts of different things, but just kind of a heart dialogue with the world.